said, there is something called the aorta, right? Please write this down. This is the largest artery or the largest blood vessel in a human body, which connects from the heart to the abdominal area. So aorta is the thickest, the fattest. It's an artery. It's a type of artery which connects the heart to the abdomen. Correct? It is the largest artery of the body. That is the aorta. Okay. Now I also wanted to tell you the difference between arteries and veins. Vatsala, can you tell me what are arteries and what are veins? Vatsala? Vatsala, can you unmute yourself? Arna, can you differentiate between arteries and veins?
Ma'am, can I?
Who's this?
Ma'am, me, ma'am. Yeah.
Yes, Bhavya, go ahead.
Yes. Ma'am, arteries are blood vessels responsible for carrying oxygen-rich blood away from the heart to the body, ma'am.
Okay, great. And what about veins?
Veins are the blood vessels that carry blood that is very low in oxygen from the body to the heart for deoxygenation.
Okay. Which is the second point?
Ma'am,
what are the points of differentiation?
Ma'am,
arteries are red in color.
Yeah,
veins are a little bluish
color and have oxyhemoglobin.
Right, so veins are a little bluish in color, correct?
So, ma'am, I don't know.
Okay, thank you, Bhavya.
Can I tell, ma'am?
Yeah, please do.
Ma'am, the arteries are deep-seated, meaning they are not superficial to the skin, but the veins are superficial. And another thing is that arteries have a small lumen, but veins have a huge, like a wider lumen compared to arteries.
Very good. So they are basically wider. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. And ma'am, arteries do not contain valves, but veins contain valves.
Okay.
Ma'am, I know only this much.
Okay, great, fine. So basically, arteries carry oxygenated blood, veins carry deoxygenated blood, as you had mentioned in the first point. Very good. So these are the differences between arteries and veins, right? Now, when these arteries, for example, this is an artery, right? But when it has to enter an organ, for example, it has to enter, this is the small intestine. Yeah?
Ma'am, I wanted to tell one more point. Ma'am, in the arteries, blood flows in high pressure with jerks, but veins it flows smoothly in low pressure.
And why does it happen?
Ma'am, because arteries have a small lumen, so that's why the pressure is great.
Correct. And veins are a little broader, that's why the smoothest flow. Correct. And that's the reason why you will find, when people become a little elderly and they have a lot of rich food, you will often hear that his artery is blocked. He's got a blocked artery. Kitna percent? He's got a 40% blockage in his artery. You will never hear that his veins are blocked, because veins are so broad. It has very little chances of getting blocked. Arteries are, as she said, it has got a thin lumen. It's not very broad. Over and above that, all the fat deposit and all the cholesterol deposit, it's so sticky. It sticks to the walls of the artery. And the way the blood flows anyways is a little slow, right? So, but then again, with this deposition of this cholesterol, it becomes even more difficult. So this is when they say that he's got a blocked artery. The artery is blocked. And many a time what happens is that, the blockage actually becomes like this, like this. Just imagine this path. Kitna, this is so thin. So what do? The surgery that they use is to unclog. They take out all these fats, all the cholesterol deposits they take away, they clean it. And then again, if not fully clean, but it will become at least like this. The artery will become like this for the blood to pass a little smoothly. There is this one more surgery that they do, that is they put a stent. They put iron.
Right?
Sorry?
Mom, so for doing it for every artery, it would take a lot of time, right?
No, it depends which arteries have got blocked. So there are various tests to find out which particular artery has got blocked.
Arteries blocked, then?
Sorry?
If a person has like almost majority of his arteries blocked, then?
See, what happens is that even before majority of the arteries get blocked, when the person will have 40% of the arteries blocked, the person face a lot of breathing trouble. He will have a lot of pain in the heart. So he will start complaining. Only then only he will have so much of difficulty. Nobody will wait for a 90% blockage. In 40% itself, the person will have so much of trouble, so much of pain. The doctors will advise maybe a balloon blast surgery or a angioscopy, so different, depending on the thickness, how much of the, yeah.
Ma'am, they also give vasodilators, right?
Vasodilators. What is the meaning of vasodilators? First, the doctors will use medicines to dilate. What is the meaning of dilate? That means they will kind of, just like a balloon, they will, if the deposits were here, they will dilate the artery so that the blood can flow smoothly. But this too you're doing artificially. Again, when the work of the medicine stops, again this will become constricted like this. What is the meaning of dilation? Like, something gets swollen. Right? For example, if there was a balloon like this, you have dilated the balloon and the balloon became big. Similarly, you have kind of artificially swollen up this place so that the blood can flow. But it will only help to an extent. If the deposit is very high of cholesterol, the person has to go for a surgery. If the doctor finds that this is an artery, which is perfectly fine, only this particular area has got cholesterol deposit. In the front and at the end, it's perfectly fine. Because of this portion, there is irregular blood flow. So what do the doctor do? They will cut this portion. They will cut this portion up. They will take an artery from some other part of the body, most likely it is from the thigh region, from the legs, and they will stitch it back here. This is called a bypass surgery. They have bypassed this place. And now the blood will flow from here. This is known as a bypass surgery. It's too untidy. I'm so sorry for that. For example, this particular area, this happens only if the deposit is in a little area. So with a scissor, they will cut this portion. They will cut this portion. And they will take another artery, they will stitch it up here and they will connect it here. They will connect it here. So from now on, this area will become a dead area, dead artery, and the blood will flow like this. So this is known as a bypass. You have bypassed this main area. This is also a very successful surgery. Okay.
Ma'am, so how this stitch up such a small thing, ma'am?
It is. It is a very, very, arteries anyways are so thin, and over and above that, the stitches that they put. That's the reason why, cardiology has got,
really
yeah, they have to be very careful. That's the reason why cardiology is broken up into many branches. There are different kinds of doctors. There is a cardiac surgeon, there is a cardiothoracic surgeon, there is a cardiologist who treats with the medicine part of cardiology. There are different science study in cardiology itself, heart itself, right? Okay, now the fourth chamber open and closes about 1 lakh times a day. So it has got 5 zeros. So 1 lakh times a day, the four chambers will open and close, open and close. Correct? Heartbeat.
Four chambers.
The four chambers are the auricles and the ventricles.
Okay.
The auricles will contract, the ventricles will expand. You know, all these contraction and expansion will happen 1 lakh times in a day. That is how a pumping of a heart happens. Heartbeat that we can hear is due to the contraction and relaxation of the heart muscles. Heart in a healthy body beats up to 72 times in a day. That's what we call pulse. You know, when a doctor comes and he touches your wrist, holds your wrist for a minute, he will see if your wrist also beats for 72 times in a minute or not. If 72 is too long a time for him to hold, he will just hold it for half a minute and he will see roughly if it has beaten for 36 or 37 times in half a minute. Matlab 30 seconds. This is an average. Children below 10 years of age, they might have a heartbeat of almost 82 to 90 heartbeats in a minute. Elderly people normally have 65 to 70 heartbeats in a minute because, you know, by age, with age, what happens? All our muscles become a little flaccid and a little taut by time, over time. So the expansion and the contraction doesn't happen that efficiently. Okay. Now the contraction is held in auricles and relaxation is done in ventricles. So basically when the auricles contract, the ventricles expand. It relaxes. Right? So when the ventricle relaxes, it pumps out blood from the vessel. So this is basically like the motor of the body, which works on its own, which works voluntarily. Nobody has to give a signal. Now you expand. Now auricle, now you expand. Now, okay, now ventricle, now you relax. You don't have to give any command. It works voluntarily and it is like a motor. And it is so powerful a motor that with this relaxation and contraction itself, the pressure is so much that the blood flows throughout the body. It goes to the brain and here it goes to the little toe of your body. That is the kind of pressure it puts. You don't see in a water pump, what happens in a house in a water pump, it has got power like 1 horsepower, 2 horsepower, half horsepower. That's the power with which it pushes the water from the tank to the pipes, right? For example, in case there's a house, right, which has got a water tank here. This is the water tank and this is the motor here. So the motor engine will be such 1 horsepower which will pick up the water from here and it will store in a overhead reservoir. So that's the kind of artificial, so much of electricity is consumed, such a big machine is required to take the water, suck it and then take it upwards. So much effort is required, right? But in case of a human body, nothing, no machine, no motor, no electric wire, no electricity, nothing. Just with a mere contraction and relaxation, the blood is pushed in such an extent that it flows entire body in a few seconds. That's the power. So our blood vessels need to be very clean and smooth so that without any hindrance, without any obstacle, it can flow to the last cell in our brain. Correct?